Our topic for today is frequency and frequency. Frequency and frequency. Now, when we speak about frequency and frequency, I'm speaking about the first definition of frequency is the rate at which you repeatedly do something. While the second definition of that frequency has to do with your vibration, or the waves at which an individual moves. Basically, it's basically your energy level and how it is directed towards a particular thing. The synonym you can use for that frequency is your vibration, right? So when you speak about frequency as in vibration and frequency as in repeatedly doing something, they work side by side. They work side by side in the sense where until you repeatedly envision something, you repeatedly make a mental representation of something, until you repeatedly look at something, right, you cannot move in line with it. How do you think passion is built? Passion is built by allowing that particular idea to fully permeate your mind. When that idea is the only thing that you think about, that's when you can see that an individual is passionate about something. Now, that is basically what passion is. Passion is when somebody has, it may not be what you truly want out of life, but because you have followed the rule, and the rule is that whatever you perpetually pay attention to, you are actually investing time into, and then the more you invest in it, the more you reap returns. The returns, if you invest mentally, the results and the returns can also be mental, in the sense where you'll be like, okay, this is the only thing I'm thinking about. And guess what? Because it's the only thing you're thinking about, it begins to now form into the only thing that you're planning about. And then when you begin to plan about it, and then you now begin to move in line with it, simply because that was what you planted in the first place, right? So you planting something that is in the aspect of a seed now, in terms of your mind, has to do with the frequency at which you pay attention to that particular thing. Because our mind is littered with a lot of thoughts, hundreds and hundreds and thousands of thoughts, right? But the moment you focus on one, right, a pathway now begins to open. Why? Because you, the reality, have focused on that thought. So the more you focus on that thought, the more it now begins to be made clear. And imagine that thought now being the only thing you now focus on. Imagine how far you would go in regards to that particular thought or idea. Right, so that's what it means now. So you moving in line with that thought is the second definition of frequency, which is your vibration. So when they say, who are you? Oh, you can look at anybody and you're like, oh, who is Elon Musk? Oh, Elon Musk is this. You can easily give out, oh, he owns X, blah, 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 because that's the vibration. That is what he has, planted into his life, and that is what he's moving in line with. So frequently, yes, he frequently envisioned that thing for himself. He always saw himself doing things like that. And then because of how frequently he did it to himself, he had to now move in line with it. He naturally moved in line with it because he repeatedly did it in the first place. So you moving in line with something is based on what you have repeatedly done. So when you have repeatedly done it within your mind, or even in practice, you hear people say things like practice makes perfect. How do you think practice makes perfect in terms of frequency? Because you are repeatedly doing something. Practice is repeatedly doing something. Even movie stars who rehearse, they repeatedly do it, and so when they now act the movie, their vibration is now based on what they have repeatedly done. So whatever movement you make in life is based on what you have repeatedly done in your rehearsals, in your trainings, in what you have perpetually paid attention to, basically. So you as an individual must understand that in order for you to move somewhere, in order for you to vibrate in a particular direction and attract things in line with that vibration, you have to frequently pay attention to the thoughts that you want to realize, and only that thought, right? And then move in line with it. I'm not going to say that there are not going to be doubts, but the more you keep moving in line with it, the more your path becomes clear, and the more doubt just fades away. So these are the things you have to understand. Frequency, which is the rate at which you repeatedly do something, and frequency, which is your vibration. So unless you repeatedly do something, you cannot vibrate and get the things in line with that particular thing. So that is you planting the seed, and that is you reaping the harvest. Planting the seed is repeatedly doing it, which is the first definition of frequency, and then reaping what you have sown. This is the sown aspects. Reaping what you have sown in the second frequency is now you vibrating or moving in line with that particular thing. Examples I've given you, I'll repeat it again. Let's just use movie stars. They rehearse a particular role over and over and over again, and then when it's now time to say action, they now vibrate or they move in line with the role that they have rehearsed repeatedly. So that is the first frequency, which is what they repeatedly did, and the second frequency, which is their vibration and how they moved in line with it. So I hope you guys understand this. Me, I am vibrating in the sense of making videos for you guys, and then that is my own vibration because of what I've repeatedly sown in myself. So that's basically what it is. Everybody does this, and you can easily do this for yourself. When you do this, automatically distractions fade away. So don't be like, oh, how can I do away with distractions? You can only do away with distractions. You can only do away with distractions when you have an attraction, and then you focus on that attraction. Because every person that you know that is great is known for something. So you to be known for something, not something, it's just something first of all. Then yeah,